Hi friends, welcome back or to the channel. Finally got that little Toyota out of here. That was fun to work on. I enjoyed the work. It was fun to diagnose. Definitely tested my knowledge on Toyota stuff, but I got it figured out. And now my bay is empty. So I got to put something else in here, but it's not something new yet. It's going to be the tow truck because I've been driving it a bit lately and I realized that it doesn't do anything. And that's a problem because if you go to hook onto a car, you have to have an emergency brake. So I went down to CarQuest because, you know, that's where I buy my parts. And I picked up all three e-brake cables, emergency brake cables, whatever you call them, park brake cables. And we're going to do that today, I think. So the one from the pedal to behind the cab where it splits, that one's still good. It works. It does everything it's supposed to do, but to me, it just makes sense, since I bought them all, to go ahead and use them all. Just put all new brake cables in it from one end to the other. Because it's coming time to use that to drag our new project home. And I need to have a functioning emergency brake because I, as one person, cannot hold the brake pedal and stand behind the truck to run the winch at the same time. So, let's get that thing in here, but I got to move that thing first. So I'm going to let the Dodge warm up for a little bit. And then while the Dodge is warming up, I have to crank the winch back down because with it up as high as it is right now, it won't fit in my carport. So I'm going to fire up the Dodge and then I'll come back to you guys when it's time to go crank the winch down. Now to lower this winch, these old Holmes Rec 440s have a hand crank on them and a reverse handle here, reversible handle. And I can't crank mine all the way around because I have this big box right here, but I should build an extension on this, but I'm probably not going to. That should be low enough now to fit in the carport. So let's find out. Make sure she's in neutral. Give her a couple of pumps. This thing fires right up. Oh, since it's going to be under the carport anyway, I need to adjust this clutch because I have that much room right there before it even touches anything. And the clutch only engages down there. So we got to adjust that linkage while we have it up in the carport there. So probably should have checked to make sure that that boom cleared before I just started backing up under here, huh? I got about 2 foot up there, that's fine. Okay, we're up under the truck. Never mind the greasy frame. Sheesh, look how pretty that motor still is. Anyway, this is a Z-bar clutch. And a Z-bar clutch, your adjustment happens right here. This is going to be super fun because I have my light, my camera, and 2 hands under here right next to this really hot exhaust. But you're going to need an 11/16 and a crescent wrench to adjust on this deal a little bit. Ow. Well, that's not working. Let's come down here and hold this guy down here. Or just your fingers. Your fingers work too. Let's see that. Nope, that's worse. We got to take this one that way. That's what we're doing. You guys see the rain you're catching down here? All this grease that's falling off of this dirty ass truck. Okay. I think that might be a bit much, but now we'll jump up in the cab and we'll give it a shot. Went a little bit too much on that deal, so we're going to back it off just a little bit, maybe like that much, and back out, and there we go. Now grab the wrench and just lock that deal down, and that's it. Now to the matter at hand. We gotta go from that splitter and follow up under the cross member. It goes this way across the top of the frame and into that little hole right there. So when we were under the truck and we saw where that cable went through the hole in the floor, it's right there, and it just comes up and sits in that pedal. So that one's gonna be super simple. But blinding me here. There we go. Let's go unbox some cables. Okay, now we're inside here. We have to pull this cable out a little bit. Well, I'm going to grab some needle nose pliers because I'm going to pull this cable out as far as it can go and grab it right here. And then that will relax this pendulum here. We can just pop the ball out of there and push this cable back out. And I'm sure there's probably an easier way to do this, but as I previously stated, this is my first time changing e-brake cables, so I'm learning on the fly here. Get out of there. Sorry, bumping the camera. Giving you guys a pretty good ride. Oh, you dirty rat. There we go. Just like that. Now, because this doesn't have that big clip on it, it'll just slide right out of there. See? Now let's go under the truck. Sorry guys, kind of forgot that I was filming for a minute. I just got caught up in the work. It had one of these little clips right there to hold the old brake line in place, but the new brake line comes with one of those fancy little push through clips. You can see the feet right here locking it in place. That's much better. Now we have to run it the rest of the way up and into that floor. Do you guys sidetrack as bad as I do? Because I was replacing these e-brake cables, and then since I was under there, I thought, man, there's a lot of caked on grease on this truck. Because I just took like a whole side quest. I was crawling underneath the truck, replacing that e-brake cable, which, by the way, the clip that that cable comes with can go straight to hell. I don't want to put that back on. It's a pain. Anyway, I'm crawling around like, man, there's a lot of caked on grease on the bottom of this winch mount from when the winch used to leak. And it's been leaking for a long time because the grease is in like large chunks and it's dried like mud. So like an hour, scraping old dirty grease out from underneath my winch mount, so that way I can actually tell if it starts leaking fluid again. But now we have to get the truck out into the sunlight and get the back tires off and start inside the drum, and that's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. Some things have happened, but the drum off. Now I need to come in here and remove the end of the cable from this retainer, but I'm just going to take some bolt cutters and cut it because this cable's seized. I can't get it to move in the sleeve, because normally you can just take where your cable goes into your adjuster up there and kind of push some cable, some slack through there to get this off, but my cables are seized, so we're just going to take some bolt cutters and snap it off. Sorry, I thought my compressor would be done running by now, but I took this spring here because it was clipped on that pin and pulled it off so I could pull the brake shoe forward a little bit and get me a wrench in here. On the top and the bottom here, we've got these clips. I'm going to take the open end of my wrench and slide it over the end of the cable there. There's no good way for me to set you guys up because I forgot a tripod. See, knocking that wrench up in there, push those tangs down in. Now we should be able to. That bottom one's still got to come up a little bit more. Let's see if this will fit. No. Half inch don't fit. I don't have any other tools out here with me, and I'm tired of making trips to my garage. Get out of there. There we go. See? It just walks the stuff out of there. That's it. Okay, we are back under the truck. Get this deal down, and our cables are held in here. So there's supposed to be a clip on this side, but mine are missing. Pull it out. Now let's compare this old one with our new ones and see which one fits. I think it's going to be the shorter of the two. Just a hunch. Maybe not. This one just seems like it's too long. Like way too long. Okay. After climbing underneath the truck and comparing, I think I'm going to go ahead with the longer one on the passenger side and the shorter one on this side. May not be a great idea, but it's the only one I can come up with, so bring this guy. This is a short one, right? Yeah. Bring this guy in through our hole back there. Thing fit right? Like that? Yep. Maybe these are not the right cables. Let me compare the end of this deal here. See the angle on our boot here? And so that cable can come out at the correct angle. Like that. Maybe not. Like that. I think this is twisted here. See, it just pushes in there. And then your tangs pop out. She's in. Now, take this guy here inside this little adjuster. Now I gotta put this back on and put the drum back together. This is fun. Remember I told you one cable was shorter and one cable was longer? this is a problem here because this deal is supposed to go into there. And that cable is already stretched pretty tight. So this is not the right cable. But since I already have the driver's side apart, I'm just going to go ahead and put the longer cable here and then call CarQuest and have them order me another of the longer cables. I'm going to go behind our shock here, and rather than in front of it, just to take out some of the slack that I have in this thing. Through. See, that clip won't hold it. That's okay. That hole's a little big, but it's fine. I'll just come back in here with a screwdriver and open those ears up a little bit just to lock that deal in. And see here, they fit like they're supposed to. Make sure that your bell end faces the front of the truck. Just goes in like that. Then this guy comes in. Oh, Richard. There we go. I got to put a washer on because the old cable had a beveled or a shouldered nut. The new cable does not. So, man, I hate tightening e-brake cables. It takes forever. Doesn't have to be totally tight either, by the way. We're gonna have to take it back apart as soon as we get this other cable anyway. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for stopping by. The passenger side is just like the driver's side. You just pull your drum apart or off if it's not a floating rear end. Get you a wrench or a pair of pliers and squeeze those little tips. Push your cable out, push your new one in, yada yada yada. Yeah, thanks for stopping by today. Hopefully my microphone still works because it's not in my beard anymore. I've moved it down onto my shirt because it has a magnet on the clip and it kept hanging up. Every time I would get close to the truck, it would basically just clip my beard to the tow truck. So anyway, sorry, rambling. Yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Possibly tomorrow we'll be doing fun tow truck stuff, but I don't know, we'll see. But remember, guys, your dreams aren't going to work unless you do. So again, don't let the fact that you've never done it before stop you from trying it.